But even that one was like probably like it's more left than you want to see, right?
Trying so hard not for it to not go left.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like none of those even threaten to be fades.
Yeah. So again, kind of face to path control is the big number. So you're at plus minus 2.5. We definitely want to be a little bit better than that.
Just like you guys, we're always working on our games as well. And probably the most important club in the bag is the driver, right? You got to be able to get the ball in play. And, a lot of it boils down to the swing, but also a lot of it can be the equipment. And we've been playing a lot lately this spring. And I'll have, use myself as an example, I'll have a shot, feel like I make a good swing, look up, and the ball's not where I thought it would be. It's moving hard left. And if there's a shot that I hate more than any, it's that. And a lot of times, especially recently, it's like it doesn't look like that swing should produce that shot.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, just giving golf lessons and watching a lot of balls fly and a lot of swings that produce those ball flights. And I'm sitting there watching Mike hit 2 or 3 real good drivers in a row on a few holes, and all of a sudden the same golf swing produces just a really random, different low left ball. It just didn't kind of fit what I was thinking the ball should do, and you as well, right?
Yeah, and it's totally surprising. Like, when you make a bad swing, you don't expect a great result.
That's it.
Make a good swing, you feel like you should get a pretty good result, but that odd ball wasn't the case. So you made a comment that said it looks like the shaft's doing something weird.
Yeah.
And that's about all you can see in real time, right? It just doesn't look right. Mm-hmm. So we went in and put my driver on gears, and you guys are used to seeing our body stuff on gears, the golfer on gears. What gears is also exceptional at is showing you exactly what the club is doing, especially something like a driver, which bends so much. So we put my driver on gears, and we made this swing right here. So I made a swing, and this was the shot that it produced. And you can see coming in through impact here, you're going to notice something. This is what Shaun caught this right off the bat. You're going to notice something right here at impact, and it's called deflection. And that red line there on the screen is if the shaft had no bend, that's where it would line up. And you can see this shaft is deflected over the width of a golf ball. So 1.63 inches of forward deflection. And what some of you may not be aware of is that the golf shaft is always moving during the swing. It moves a bunch in the takeaway, right? It bends a bunch. It moves a bunch in transition, moves a bunch coming out of transition, and then again, that last cycle is right through impact. And every golf shaft is going to have deflection where that head bends forward coming into the ball. How much of that can really determine where your ball goes.
And that's where the shaft fitting comes in.
Right.
Like, okay, everybody pulls on the club differently. Everybody forces it differently when they do it in the swing. That all matters, and that whatever you're putting into the swing, the shaft is going to react to that. So the trick is to find one that kind of matches your style, right?
Matches your release, right?
Yeah, and it's hard to do. You have to try a lot of shafts and different head weights. We're going to talk about that, but it's such a big deal. And this was an in-depth fitting we did. I feel like it helped both of us out.
Yeah, so we called, and we'll talk more about Shaun's fitting here in just a second. So we called one of the best club fitters we know, Pete Weber at Cool Clubs, and he had a spot for us. So we're going to go down and actually take you through the fitting that we got and see if we can't improve these deflection numbers, because when this club deflects forward, it's also closing the face, and that's what was causing that odd left ball. So ready to go get fit?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Pete runs Cool Clubs Atlanta, is one of the best club fitters that we know of. It's who we trust all of our pros with, all of our AMs with, and he's going to do his most difficult job today and try to help us find a better driver.
Yeah, thanks for having me out, guys. Looking forward to it. What's kind of the main focus of what you guys want to try to achieve with our time here today?
So I'll speak for Shaun and let Shaun speak for me. So we play golf together all the time now, and Shaun's driving it the best I've ever seen him hit it. We just want to find out of him if he's leaving anything in the tank and he can improve those numbers. It's pretty high, pretty tight draw. I mean, it looks great when he's out there hitting the ball.
Yep. So for Mike, we play together a lot, and I'm seeing 3 or 4 good drives in a row, and this random low left ball that comes out of nowhere that doesn't really look like to my eye, that shot shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And obviously I don't have a track me to my eyeballs, but I've seen enough shots fly with that swing he's making not to produce that shot. So I'm curious about kind of the deflection and how the shaft's working in the swing.
Yeah, great. Looking forward to it, and I think we can absolutely find some answers here today. So, should we get to it?
Yeah, let's get
do
started.
it.
All right,
do
cool. All righty, fellas. Gonna have Mike step up first. Gonna go ahead and hit 6. Then we'll
6 with the
6 with the gamer. Yep, and then we will see what's happening from there.
All right.
But even that one was like probably like it's more left than you want to see, right?
Trying so hard not for it to not go left.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like none of those even threaten to be
Yep.
fades.
Yeah. So again, kind of face to path control is the big number. So you're at plus minus 2.5. We definitely want to be a little bit better than that.
Path
Yeah.
dialed in.
Yeah, path and
All right.
attacking are nice and consistent. So
See if we can polish this turd.
yes, sir. All right, Mikey,
So
let's give this a try. Graphite Design VR6. It's kind of mid-launch profile. Taking a stab at trying to see what we're going to see off this real quick.
Okay.
But taking you out of the counterbalanced approach.
yeah, I think I'm a big fan of not being
Yeah.
counterbalanced. That was different there.
Yeah. But again, getting out of the counterbalanced kind of profile.
So that one felt like just a basic release,
Yeah.
and I felt like I was fighting that on the other two.
Gotcha. All right. Let's take a look
I
at
do
things.
like it that it's not counterbalanced.
Yeah, and so like that
After that first ball.
yeah, that last one tells me a lot. You know, contact point went down a little bit down on the face.
Okay.
So, face to path control getting a little bit better. But that low strike on the face, because I actually saw that 2 out of the 4 balls that you hit. Want to kind of maybe change that a little bit through profile. So we're going to stick with the same loft head.
Okay.
But now we're going to go to the XC6 from Graphite Design, which is a little bit lower launch profile shaft. And without getting too into the weeds on it, that ultimately means like the club actually plays a little bit longer at impact.
Okay.
So it can change how many millimeters off center you are.
I like that.
Yeah. So, or you know, help raise the strike point by the club being a little bit longer at impact. So let me just switch this over. Cool. Ready to rock, man.
That was a big hard release,
Yep.
but still way less hook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah.
It's playable there, yeah.
Yeah. That one on that my normal shaft would have been almost come back to me.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's a lot better, Mike.
They seem to be carrying farther.
A little bit, yeah. So face path control has just kind of gone through the roof on it too. So now we're down at 1.1.
Oh wow.
So much better. I mean,
yeah.
it's
All right.
night and day different. Just what I'm seeing with him.
Give it
on the
one
course.
fairway finder.
Yep.
Hey, yeah, a little bit higher than the camera.
And just
there.
right above the camera.
Bam!
Uh-oh. Look out, Shaun.
There it is.
Sorry, buddy.
There we go.
That was good.
Straight fall right
That's
squeeze.
Nice. Yep.
That's as big as a difference as I've ever seen. Just a club fitting deal.
Yeah. That was good, yeah. So again, big thing, I think what we found was like that getting into the right profile, getting into the right, you know, balance of the shaft, gets you to now be able to start to do that to when you're practicing or playing. Now the, again, shot result matches with your inputs into the golf
This one
club.
felt the best up here, and then by far the best down here.
Yeah, yep. So
Love it.
Graphite Design, low torque shaft, 2.7 torque, yeah.
All right.
So-
Turns up pretty good,
All right.
yep. All right.
Let's make sure we Give Shaun. You may fit Shaun.
Yeah, you bet,
Since
man.
I'm
Yeah, you're
playing
the
him every day.
All right, let me just get switched over to Mr. Webb.
That's insane difference.
It's crazy.
I mean,
All right, Shaun, fire away, my man.
Yeah, it just feels too flimsy.
Yeah. So when I put your information into the software, again, we measured yours out at 6.0 in the IZ6. When the software is really saying it, if we're staying in the IZ6, we actually want to be closer to 7.5. So that's a whole flex and a half difference in stiffness.
Okay. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and so that's gonna, it's gonna deflect more. You're gonna have issues up and down and left to right with that. Yeah. So when we look at things,
I think what I do sometimes is like ease up on it and kind of guide it instead
so
of
it
going.
don't upshoot on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is
The other day when we were out there, had a couple big holes, and he smacked them.
cut.
They were just.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to bring that down because when we look at your contact point and then your spin rate, your contact point is actually skewed a little high on the face.
Yeah.
It should help us produce lower spin.
Yeah.
But we're actually seeing still above optimal spin. So
Would you say it's a lot of deflection, basically?
I think there is. Yeah. With how soft the club is, it's definitely, I think we're starting to run into where it's just adding some loft at impact. Okay. So we can start to try to skew that down a little bit. I guess you're on something that's going to be a little bit different for you.
Okay.
And just
Shock the system.
yeah, we're gonna see. I'm kind of going on
Different
the
can be good.
far end of a different spectrum just to see what happens.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's like teaching a slicer how to hook it first.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta
see what's happening.
gotta see what happens at first. Let's see here. Epic Max LS HD6. All right, rip a couple of this, my man. It's a big change from where you were at.
Felt okay. That ball felt
You look
okay.
different swinging it.
Do I?
Yeah.
It's something with the weight feels a lot different.
Yeah, hit me
than
one
I'm
more.
used
And
to.
hit me one more, and I'll kind of explain what I was doing with this.
Don't love it, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, something about the weight of it.
Yeah.
I don't like how
it's
it
changed
feels.
something up here for you.
So the way all the club manufacturers do things, they all kind of have different varying philosophies on the ideal head weight on things. Callaway makes the lightest heads out on the market. It's right for some people, but you've been playing TaylorMade, which is actually a little bit on the heavier side of
I'm
things. It's
so
not as
used
heavy
to
as
that.
like Ping and stuff like that. But what I'll see when we get out of the ideal kind of gram weight range on the head, contact point starts to vary.
That was
like,
different,
and with a better player, it's noticeable right
That
away.
was a different spot.
So
way
that kind
high
of confirmed you. what you were
Exactly,
thinking,
yeah. And I mentioned it, like I'll put something in someone's hand sometimes just to confirm a suspicion in my mind. I'll put something in their hand that I think that they're not going to like it as much.
Yeah.
Or they might even hit it significantly worse.
I played
So-
TaylorMade drivers for 15 years,
Yep.
you know.
And you find the same spot pretty consistently. So like that's a big one for me to look at, because if you can do that, it actually makes things a little bit easier on me to be able to, okay, I can make little adjustments way easier to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm hitting the same spot every time, it makes your job a little bit easier.
Way easier.
Yeah.
Way easier. Yeah, so let me switch up things here a little bit. We're going to go back to Taylor.
Okay.
Going to try an offering from Fujikura that's very similar to what you've been using, but a little bit more ideal frequency or stiffness wise. So bend profile wise, they're almost identical.
Just a stouter stick.
Yep, just stiffer. So let's finish this one up here. All right,
Let's try it.
let's give it a whirl.
This is about 4 times as many drivers already as we normally
Golly.
play.
Wear me out,
We're a
Pete.
3/4 driver, kind of go play, kind of.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty thorough. Obviously, can't tell. People log off all my
Yeah.
fittings, but
I mean, you got to, right?
Yeah, I want to.
That weight feels better.
Yeah, should be way more familiar as far as the head weight.
That's what I want right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go back to the that light one.
No.
Sorry, Mike.
Let's go back to that white one and make it lighter and
There
shorter.
we go.
Yeah, awesome.
Just screwed me on my
That
fitting,
feels,
Pete.
that's better.
Yeah, hit me a couple more, just kind of stockers.
Yeah.
And then I want you to go ahead and hit a couple where you're maybe trying to hit like any little specialty drive you might be trying to hit.
The bomb.
The bomb. Nasty bombs.
Like,
Good one.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's really good.
awesome.
All
All right, that helps me out a lot.
Yeah, cool.
So, lighter, longer,
Yeah, really. I mean, we're kind
shorter,
of same.
softer.
Yeah, it's kind of the difference between the two of you. Yeah. One of you need something a little bit softer and lighter. One of you needs something a little same weight, but a little bit stiffer.
No, I'm into
All right.
that.
Yeah, let's
Absolutely
jump
awesome.
inside then and talk about what you did so we can understand it better and then so everyone else can see what.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Sure.
Thank you,
Choices you
Pete.
made.
That helped me a lot.
Yeah, you bet, man.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
All right, let's just go
Let's
walk
boogie.
in. All right, so Pete, we did a big change, a big improvement. So this is my modern art masterpiece here, right?
Yeah.
My normal driver, what I typically see, handful of good ones, and then those odd just gutter balls to the left.
Yeah.
And it showed up today, which I'm thankful for. I didn't hit all fades today.
Yeah.
So what kind of made you to go where you wanted to go when you saw that?
Yeah, obviously we talked about a little bit about when we spec'd your club out, counterbalance, swing weights, super light. So immediately wanted to get you out of the counterbalance principle. Again, it's right for some people, it's not always right for other people. Stiffness-wise, it being counterbalanced, but even considering counterbalance is still probably a flex too stiff. So moved you kind of same gram weight, but where we kind of end up landing on was that we went to a little bit lower launching profile shaft in the right torque range for you. Because you had mentioned you want to feel the shaft feeling pretty tight.
I don't like to feel movement in the shaft.
Yeah, and so that's where the lower torque, can really feel really good for people. And kind of what we stumbled upon, like the last few balls you hit, was like, hey, like considering where you struck it on the club face and then what the shot result produced, that felt right to you.
Yes.
Like it came out of the barrel where you thought it would do. So that's going to make things way easier for as you go to work on things. Is that the result is going to be matching with what you felt happened. And that's the biggest part, for in club fitting that I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah, if I can get it down to where, okay, I put in X and I'm thinking Y is going to show up, not
Yes.
Z, I totally can live with those results.
Yeah.
It's the Z ball that was killing me.
Yep. So again, on yours, kind of boiling down as we went a little bit stiffer or a little bit softer in the frequency, is what it ended up at. Taking it out of the counterbalance principle, kept it in the same head. Actually, kept both you guys in the same head. But just kind of getting it into a little bit more traditional setup. That worked really well for you.
Yeah, I'm super happy with it.
Yeah, and obviously for Shaun, like what we kind of found was like, it was about a flex and a half too soft. Right profile of.
Yeah, it always felt good to me. Just the quality of my bad shot was too off the map.
Yeah, we saw your spin rates were a little bit too high for some things. So and a little bit of that from being too soft, it's going to deflect a little bit more. Going to have some of those issues. So same profile shaft, stiffening things up. Again, face to path control for both of you got better. That was the big part of it, and you kind of both sensed it as we were going through. From what I could tell, it was like, yes, the result was what you expected based on contact and what you felt like you did.
I've heard you say that in a number of fittings where we were both doing pretty good paths, right? That's kind of up to us, the golfer, to swing on that path. But it was that face variation that kind of lets you know it's an equipment issue.
Yeah, on the track, my numbers face to path. If someone hits a series of shots, at least 6 shots. If the little number down the corner is above 1.5, it's about 95% of the time it's been an equipment issue. So some aspect of the fit of the golf club is playing into that.
Sometimes it is the arrow.
Sometimes it is zero. Absolutely, yeah. So I've got a way of looking at that to kind of help say, okay, yes, we got to look at that. Try to pick that out.
Awesome. I mean, I loved how that last shaft you had me in.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
Excellent.
You felt good with yours? Felt the more speed you give it, it would tighten up on you?
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was losing the shaft the faster I went. 'Cause
Yeah.
my gain speed was obviously higher a lot of times than what I'm doing here. When I did try to crank it up, it felt like it was with me, I guess I would say.
Yeah, and it really like on that point for Shaun's, like the average spin rate was a little bit higher than we wanted to see. And so really when I'm working with somebody kind of in your speed categories, on the miss hits, super key that we keep spin below 3,000. And that's really kind of what we were seeing with all of yours. You get that little heel strike, which was with that old too soft a shaft was getting you 3,200.
Yeah.
That same strike was getting us 26,
If
27.
I can keep a heel strike and get it out there, or I can play the next ball and it's not 30 yards shorter than normal,
Yeah.
that's a big
And that's what I would see with you on the course. It's
Yeah.
like that one where the speed jumps up.
Yeah.
It's a big par 5, and you would just kind of see it spin and kind of float out there
that's
to the
it.
right.
The harder I would swing, sometimes the worse it would get.
Yeah, and so like we already knew that was starting off too soft. The harder you swing, it's getting even softer for you.
That's what I was feeling 100%.
Yeah.
All right, love it. This has been
Good.
super
Yeah,
beneficial,
it's been
super
great.
interesting to kind of learn. I mean, we've got access to this stuff. You've seen our videos, you've seen the warehouse, but it helps to have someone who doesn't have the feel for where the ball goes objectively.
Yeah.
Look at what you need to do, and if you're serious about your game, one, make sure your swing's right, but two, you've got to make sure the arrow is matching what you're doing, because those two things line up, you should see more balls in the places you're looking to send them. I hope you enjoyed that fitting. We learned a ton. Hopefully you guys were able to learn a bunch as well, and I think variability in the club face comes a lot down to equipment, and I think Joe found that out with our own swings, with our own equipment. And I'm super excited to get that new shaft and start hitting it and get more money from Shaun.
What a difference. Just what a difference in the ball flight with your driver. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So just to kind of bring it back to the gears images, what you're seeing now on the screen is the shaft that I currently play, that I will no longer be playing. It's a great shaft, it just doesn't fit me well. Is here on the left, your left on the screen, the red line, and then you can see the deflection improvement there on the right with the green line, and that was now my shaft is deflecting less than an inch, so pretty close to half the deflection, and we saw that bear itself out in the ball flight. So much less deflection for me is a better fit, right? The speed stayed the same, everything else stayed the same except more centered contact and much straighter drives, which is all I'm looking for out of a shaft.
Yeah, that's what we all want. It was obvious, few different shafts, but then once the correct one is in there, it's like night and day, and that's what you want from a fitting. You should feel it in the first couple swings and not really have to manipulate it much.
Exactly right.
Get that one in there and you start hitting it right away. Okay, let's go with that.
Exactly right. So I hope this helped you guys. If you're seeing that odd ball, feel like you're making a good swing, and you're seeing that odd bad shot come out, go check your equipment, because there's a good chance you're leaving something on the table with what you're holding in your hands relative to where that ball is.
Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and give it a like. Also, if you have any questions about today's video, or you have an idea of a video that you want us to shoot, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. We read every single comment. We also respond to the comments. So again, leave us a comment if you have any questions or there's anything you'd like to see. Now, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. We have videos coming out every single week, and we don't want you to miss one. So by clicking subscribe, that ensures you're notified right away when a new video comes out. And hey, if you want to add instant distance to your drive, and we all do, everybody wants more distance, go ahead and click the link in the pinned comment below. You're going to see a link. Click on it. It's going to take you to a page. You're going to enter your name and email address. We're going to send you an email where you're going to get access to instant distance, which is a video training that we put out. We know it's going to help you. We know we're going to see you farther down the fairway.